everybody, it's Ben from Grappling Insider. Today I am joined by the 2023 Black Belt No-Gi Absolute World Champion. He's also a Polaris champion, ADCC Trials champion, and in my opinion, honestly one of the most exciting grapplers in the game today, Roberto Jimenez. Roberto, thanks for joining me today.
Thank you, Ben. I
How's it
appreciate
going?
it. Good to be here.
Yeah, of course.
Just chilling after the fights. Taking this week to recharge and just kind of schedule out what's next.
For sure, I can imagine. And I'm honestly, so we're talking just like 3-4 days after you won Worlds. Like, how's it feeling? Are you a guy who celebrates a ton? Do you think about the competition? How are you feeling now a few days later?
No, I mean, I try to keep, how do I say? Like, I try to stay just very consistent with how I live before and then after the fight, whether there's a win or learning experience. It's just this week is just more chill. I get to eat more, like sleep in more, but we still, the work doesn't stop. It's something that we do every day. I love to do what I do, so it just feels like get to recharge for a little bit.
That's crazy, man. It's crazy you're so chill about just winning Worlds. One of the best performances we've seen at that tournament in a minute. I guess looking back on it, how do you rate your performance overall, both in heavyweight and the absolute division?
I would say 8 out of 10, just because I guess I'm my biggest critic. I just I was really looking forward to, like, I was really set on getting double gold, but you know the learning experience there, I'm gonna keep it 1,000, is show up early, not on time, because I showed up late, and that always, like, it wasn't good to show up late for the semifinal of the weight class, but there's not an excuse. It was Elder's Day. He did great. He had a good strategy for that Worlds. So definitely be a dope fight to run back at some point. But congrats to him on his title. And overall, I feel like the absolute is just something I've been looking forward to doing again. Because I was light, middle, medium, heavy the past 2-3 years, and this is my first year back into heavyweight. So I felt good for the absolute. So that was a lot of learning experiences, but overall, I would rate it 8 over 10.
That's 8 out of 10 is good. I'd like to see a 10 out of 10. That'd be wild. I assume 10 out of 10 is all subs, double gold.
Yeah, that's 10 out of 10.
Beautiful. So tell me what was clicking, like what went right in the absolute division? Five submissions against like super tough top guys, really accomplished guys. What was going right at that point?
I feel like I was just really present for the event. Because there were some tough guys, like I was ready for wars in every fight. I wasn't expecting any easy fights. Because I feel like some people, like, sometimes people will like overestimate or underestimate an opponent, and I know that's happened to me in the past. So now I'm just like, okay, I'm ready to. If I have to, I'll go to 10 minutes. Let's go. I was actually really, like, I was able to apply a really good fight with Negromonte, Charles Negromonte. He was very strategic in the fight, and that's the first fight I feel like I was able to, like, okay, I'm gonna play the game, and if I don't finish the fight, I don't finish the fight. Like, I know this guy has good strategy, so there was a lot of takeaways from this Worlds, but I feel like, um, I came into peace this last one, kind of like, if I don't finish every fight, there's no problem, because I wasn't looking for the finish, to be honest. I was in a sense of like, if I see it, I'm gonna go for it, but I just wanted to be like on point with the movement, put on a good fight, and have a good strategy. Like, don't give anything away, or if something happens, like recover from it. So that was I was able to apply that, and I'm happy about it.
What's up, everyone? Chances are, if you're tuning into this interview, you probably train in jiu-jitsu, whether it's in the gi, no-gi, or both. I've been training for about 13 long years now myself, and when it comes to the gear that I like to use, I personally recommend Rev Gear. They have a premium gi that I love. They have an ultralight competition gi. They have grappling shorts. They even have rash guards that are pretty understated in design, but still really sharp looking. High quality gym bags, even backpacks that can hold multiple gis. So basically just like everything you would need for BJJ training. The best part for me personally is that nothing on that site will break the bank. We're not talking $75, $80 rash guards or $250 gis. Everything that RevGear offers is super reasonably priced, which personally I love. To make it even sweeter, RevGear is offering a 10% discount on every purchase made on revgear.com when you use the promo code INSIDER10 at checkout. That's INSIDER10 for 10% off anything and everything you buy on the site. I will also drop a link in the video description below. Again, I cannot recommend their stuff enough. Everything I have from RevGear fits well, it's solidly made, and in my experience, holds up great in the long run. Again, head over to revgear.com. That's REVGEAR.com. Use the promo code INSIDER10 for 10% off any purchase made and get some quality gear at a phenomenal price. Now, back to the interview. It was great, man. I think, at least from an outsider perspective, you seem like somebody who has like a really tight competition mindset. I'm curious, like when you're at your best, what's going through your head? Is it just like you said, not really thinking about the outcome, just thinking about the moves, or like what's going through your head when you are at the absolute top of your game?
I'm not thinking. I'm just there. I'll have music going. I won't even put headphones on. I'll just have music. Like I'll put the rash guard. I'll put the phone like inside and then have it next to my head and just listen to like I have like 5 songs on repeat. And usually those songs are what's like kind of the thoughts that I'll have going through my head. And I'm not thinking. And if I do think about something, it's more like the people that have been there through the beginning, since the beginning, and the ones who have like really helped me out uh for the fight, you know. It's just it's not about like, you know, kind of like I learned that from Kobe Bryant, to be honest. He would talk about that a lot. How meditation helped a lot for his performance. So I'll do that. I'll do like some uh some like alpha wave meditation, I think it's called, where you just there's visualizing and um kind of like visualizing like a relaxing place, and I'll try to think like I like to find a mix of both. Kind of like I'll listen to love music, and then I'll listen to music that's like want to kill someone, because it's kind of like the thing that we do, you know, like we do something that is a martial art, is a fight. You can put somebody to sleep, break the arm, but that's not the intention. That's not my intention. At least is like I don't want to hurt anyone. Is really how I feel. So I kind of want to like do it in a place that comes from love, but it's at the end of the day it's a fight. So that's kind of what I do. I listen to music that gets me in those two moods. Like I'm ready for war and I love what I do.
That's interesting, man. I will say from the outside, you definitely, I would say, embody those two sides of jujitsu, being a super intense competitor. Of course, I want to, if you leave your neck out there, you're going to take his neck every time. But also, you're there to create art, to express yourself, and kind of show the art. So I can see where you're coming with that for sure.
Appreciate it.
Um, so how do you like? let's say it's in between matches and you get distracted. Does that ever happen to you? Are you ever pulled out of that kind of mind state? And then if so, how do you get back into it?
Yeah, I mean, it happens. You just gotta like flow with it, as in somebody will come up. That's the other thing. I'm happy. I'm genuinely in the moment. Like, I'll see somebody, I'll go up to them and say hi. Like, it doesn't matter if I'm about to fight. I can't, I don't like, you got to separate, like, and I don't want to be, I feel like in the past I've been so intense before that, like, it came across in the wrong way. And I don't, I, I don't like that. So if I see someone that I know, or someone that I know is like, has a good intention, like a good vibe coming through, I'm gonna, dab them up, say what's up, but I'm not gonna like. I'm just gonna do just enough, like hi, and then go back to my thing. Because everybody's in the. There's an energy that goes through the tournament. Everybody's like in their moment, and they're they're about to fight. So if somebody's not fighting and they say hi, it's kind of like they know that you're about to fight. And then the other way around, if you're both about to fight, maybe you're not fighting each other, but you're both about to fight, you say hi, but then like you get back to it. So those kind of things also make a difference because then you're in the environment. I'm in an environment where like, I'm familiar with the people around, and um, that's really fun. Ever since I was, like way back in the day, like juvenile, I would I would really like that. I remember being juvenile in 2016 and doing my first pants and just kind of like, this is cool. There's other athletes the same age or other people, doing the same thing. And the first time that I see other people around the world in the same place doing something similar. And, for me, it was weird because I know Spanish, Portuguese, and English. And I remember hearing like people in the back, like, "Oh, look at him! He's fucking weird. Look at him dancing and singing before the fight." And I'm like, "Damn, you don't even know that I speak the same language that you do." And at the end of the day, actions speak louder than words. So I just did my thing, and I feel like that's one of those lessons that I got real young. Like, it doesn't matter. There's always gonna be people saying something positive, something negative. So just focus on the ones that are like positive. And if you don't got nothing good, like if you don't got nothing nice to say or nothing good to say, then don't say nothing at all. And yeah, I guess that's why I'd rather just like do my thing and then fight.
I love it. You talked about having people like close to you, positive influences. I think every Roberto Jimenez match, you got Raul Jimenez, your dad, there alongside. Tell me about like, are you used to his coaching? Do you hear him? Does he psych you up? Tell me about what that's like to be coached by him because, like I said, like everybody knows your dad's going to be there instructing you every time.
Yeah, it's definitely I feel like we got a good chemistry when it comes to the fight. Um he's just able to he's so loud, so there's no way to not to hear him. And um yeah, I feel like I don't like to talk much before I fight, and he'll give me just like the right advice. But it's really important for me to have my dad there because he's the one who showed me the sport. Um, and we talk about things, like before the fight. Um, we've learned throughout the process that we got to do certain things, you know, and it's it's definitely an honor to have him there. And for me, it's always been about like doing things to where I can do something for my family, whether it's like, I win a fight and then we have a good time afterwards or outside of jiu-jitsu even. But I know for a fact, I mean, it's really important for me to have my dad there, but I know for a fact that it's something that we've been like growing because you know, I remember just being the only when my dad started the gym, he was a purple belt in Houston. in Texas. He was working like 4 or 5 jobs and training for MMA and opening up a gym. And it's not like we had a lot, you know. We weren't we weren't living bad, but we we had enough to eat, in the sense like we definitely saw um like bottom up in the US. So it's cool to see how jiu-jitsu has helped us grow, you know, in the sense of it's somewhere where we were able to connect. It's somewhere like I saw how I was the only person in the gym first. Like he would tell me to do the warm up, and then people will walk by like, "Oh, what's that kid doing?" You know. So I feel like we've always had that kind of relationship where we're gonna make it work no matter what. Like even if there's no matter it doesn't matter if there's somebody watching or not. We got to do what we have to do.
I love it. So I'm curious where that motivation came from to be sometimes the only kid in your dad's class. Like, where did the motivation come from all these years where you were kind of this, young, juvenile, like kind of prodigy? That's a ton of training, a ton of work. What kept you motivated, or did you ever lose motivation?
And I don't know all the answers, you know, like I learned throughout the way. I learned from watching other athletes, other artists, not only in jiu-jitsu. I've learned a lot from like other artists like Bob Marley, like Nipsey Hussle, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, um, you know, like Pelé, Messi, like Ronaldo, Cristiano Ronaldo, like just athletes and artists that have gone through like, you know, either perseverance or some type of, you know, struggle where they overcome that. Or so I learned throughout the process. For me, it's kind of like what's the unique contribution that I can bring to our community to like, you know, to jiu-jitsu, and not only jiu-jitsu but overall like martial arts, because it's growing so much. Like UFC fighters, MMA fighters are always training jiu-jitsu. It's part of everything that's like martial arts, you know. So jiu-jitsu in the sense for me is like I want to be what can I contribute to the community that's unique, because everybody has something unique to contribute to it, you know. So that's always what I'm looking at, like um whether it be like with my preparation and the way I fight, like not so much the fight itself. The fight itself, of course, has is part of it, but the the preparation is what causes the fight to be how it is. So everything that I'm like listening, everything that I'm watching, everything that I'm thinking or not thinking, that what I eat, what I drink, all those things add up. It's wild to me. Like I feel like, you know, I'm very open about not taking any steroids, and at this point, I don't judge anyone that does. I used to think, oh, that you're. I still do think in a sense that it's a form of, because we do combat sports, so I feel like it's a bit of a mental weakness to want to use it. But at the end of the day, it's like some people are guided in that direction from a young age. So you can't really blame someone for being a product of their environment. But I know I have control of what I do, my own actions. And I know for me, it's been like the physical training, the preparation, like doing rehab exercises, keeping up with my body, working out, eating right, recovering. For me, the alkaline food and wild animals has been a huge game changing for my performance. As like my my testosterone levels, I haven't even taken a testosterone level test or anything like that, but I just know I can feel it. Like I wake up early. I like to get sun. I like to do the like everything, like as much as I'd like to do everything that I can to like be ready to fight somebody who's absurdly strong, you know. And at the end of the day, technique is gonna win, but I have to have that strength to like not let them overpower me either. So those are the kind of things that like growing up in a smaller team has taught me. Because my family, my dad, we started whenever we were young. Like he started before I didn't even know what was happening. But when he started his team, we had the gym back in Houston and in Vegas as well. Um, we started with Macaco Gold Team, and I learned a lot in those times. Like we even trained with Charles Oliveira back in the day, and there I was, like chubby kid, just like on the side, trying to like do everything. Then all the big dudes just doing their thing. But then we moved on to Alliance and to pursue more like competitive jiu-jitsu. And I was just a kid, so I don't know. I was just like, let's go, you know. Whatever you guys say, you're my parents. But we've always kept like a good relationship with everybody. So that's something that I do see is like we're in the same community at the end of the day. And the sport is growing so much that I'd love to be able to reconnect with a lot of those people that helped me before I even know what I was doing. So those kind of experiences like kept me straight on like okay, we got something unique to contribute because our come up is different, you know. Everybody has a unique story to tell, so those kind of things kept me always like on the track of like no story is perfect, and that's I guess what makes us like real, you know. And that's I'd rather be that than anything else. Just be myself and like share with people what really is working for me as a natural athlete in the sport, where I feel like we're kind of peer pressured into doing a lot of things that might like go out of you know, integrity. But you know, at the end of the day, you can't really uh, you can't judge it. People just, if you got nothing good to say, don't say anything at all, and try to communicate it in a positive way that others will have like a, you know, somewhat of a guidance and a brighter side.
I love it, man. And I'm glad you brought up, being a natural athlete. I wanted to ask you about that. I speak to other Mikey Musumeci, the Ruotolos guys, other guys that are kind of proud steroid-free athletes, and they all have their different reasons, whether it's to set an example for other competitors, for personal reasons, for health reasons, whatever. What is if you had to sum up your reason for not using steroids in the sport, what would that be?
For health and integrity, to be honest, and like health, integrity, truth, and like self love as well. Like I love this sport. I really do. Like I don't feel good when I don't train. I have to give myself some time after a fight to just recharge my energy because it is like a bit overwhelming to do that grind like every day, and you have to fight to recharge it and feel good. I give myself a couple of days, but the I mean, it's just there's so many things that we can improve in our community, you know, and there's so many great things about it already. So I just want to be able to see like the next like like when I'm 40, you know, when I'm if God willing, I make it to past 40 years old. I'd love to see like the next generation just on point with everything, with their nutrition, with their recovery, with their way of, like that they would have a free way of life that they can just like really enjoy the benefits of way of life, like because it's unique. It's a lot of freedom, and you know, I guess with kind of to quote Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility. So with like a great way of life comes great responsibility. Like how can we contribute to not just like that's what I want to show people, that you don't have to just be a fighter and just fight. Like I don't I don't want, you can't judge me as just a fighter. You have to look at me and then see that I'm embracing other things of life, and that's what's helping me continue grow as a fighter. I'm embracing nutrition as like a skill, learning what's gonna help me, like feeling quick. Uh, I've even experimented, like done. Last year I was living in Ecuador and Brazil for a little bit, and I had to pay all my things. No sponsor. I started a brand. Don't have no one pay for none of my things. I like I figured things out with my family. We help each other, and I I've like I've seen how I can do things being like an athlete without a sponsorship, with no help as a black belt, an adult, and like in Ecuador, where it's not easy to do things. It's not easy to like. There's no excuse, is what I'm saying. Like I did it so that I can really see how, from everyone's point of view, from everyone's perspective, because I've had a lot of opportunities, and they're great opportunities, and I'm very thankful for all these offers that I've had in the past. But at the end of the day, I feel like I would have not learned what I've learned if I didn't go through the route that I've taken. And it's just the beginning. So I, it's not only about being a natural athlete. It's like living natural. Like how can you really like just find a way to be real, be yourself, and don't be scared to go out of the way to fulfill all the experiences in life that you can do. And just stay in your lane. Like there's nothing better to do than just stay in one's lane and gift that unique gift that everyone has.
I love it, man. I love it. Um, I guess you kind of brought this up, right? You love the jiu-jitsu community. There's parts of it that you love, but there's also parts that you want to change. I like to ask athletes like yourself, like what would you like to see changed in the jiu-jitsu community? Whether it's culture, whatever it might be, what do you think we could be doing better as a community?
Man, it's just um well, for me, it's about I don't know. I feel like we have a lot of things that are good and a lot of things that are just like, damn, that's we really need to be doing that. It's hard to talk about certain things, but I would say just like we got to look at things from a point of view as in like I grew up teaching kids class, right? I grew up teaching adults and kids. So I was always aware of like, damn, this, kids are watching me. Like I want to be real with them. I want to be honest, and I also want to guide them in a good way. Like I want them to be better than me. So how can I? And then also, I feel like there's a different dynamic when you grow up in a family in jiu-jitsu, as a family in jiu-jitsu. Like there's for me, man, it's crazy. Women have helped me so much in the sport. It's wild. Like the women that I've met in the sport, whether it's one way or another, they're just strong women, and they deserve a lot of more like respect. And not only that, like my perception has changed so much. Unlike um, like even training, like you train with men, and you can go all out. You can be technical and go all out, and you can train with women. You can't use your strength as much, so you have to be very technical. And they're like they fight with more like rage and stuff, because just they have that. And another thing would be like the nutrition aspect, like the food. Um, I feel like you know we I I'm guilty. I've done it myself, like just binge out, but it makes such a difference when we like really focus on our nutrition. It's what's really helping us, our what's performance, and then also on a day to day. Like I want to be able to do this as long as I can. So I remember being young and thinking like, okay, how can I change? How can I do this without taking anything that's chemical and be as high performance as I can? So I started thinking, okay, the food's gonna be the way, because I don't the food and then the exercise and all these things. But um, I guess it's just like I, I would say all the teams, their jiu-jitsu is growing so much, and there's a handful of teams that are doing a lot of cool things. And there's two ways to go about it. So you can either join a big team that's there already, or you can stay and grind it out with your team. If you're able to do that, if you have the opportunity to do that, I would say do it. Do it because it's gonna you you can inspire a lot of people or like around you from directly like your group that you've grown up with, like your your area. Because at the end of the day, that's the people that have been there, that have motivated you or like pushed you to go farther. So, but everyone's different. Sometimes you don't have those. You have a different situation, and it may be more beneficial to join a bigger team. That's something that everyone has to like go over on their own. But in my opinion, it's if you can do it, grind it out with your team, and you'll see the results. It's just feels different to you know be self-made and be able to say like, yeah, I did that with my friends. I did that with my family. I didn't have to go and change up. And that's what I would say in the community we can continue that, because that's what attracted me to jiu-jitsu, was having that way of life of like you can travel, you can be free, you can get paid for what you do. And um it's just a cool mix, like that vibe of the reggae music. You can train, maybe go surf. You're at a beach. Next thing you know, you're at islands. You get to visit these places because of the sport that we're doing. But then also there's like professional side, like you're an athlete. You're a businessman. You can create your own brand. You can have a studio. You can have a gym. So all these things like come together in this sport, and I feel like that's a unique thing. I don't see it in any other sport, like not really like the way that we see it in jiu-jitsu. So you don't have to be like this. You don't have to be like someone else to really make it happen in jiu-jitsu. That's the main thing I want to communicate. Is just find the things that you like, and what's a good contribution that you can make to the people in the sport, and then that therefore you started helping the people around you. So we want to be better in every step, every move forward, every generation. We want them to be better. So we got to start with ourselves and learn from our mistakes. That's the main thing. Just learn from every experience. You can't dwell on the loss. It's not a loss. It's just a learning experience. It's a fight. You didn't get the win that time. All right. Some things went right. Some things went wrong. Learn from it. Move forward. And that's what we can apply from the jiu-jitsu side to the real life. Is just you know from every experience in life, I feel like that's the main lesson, is to apply that what we learn in a fight, bring it forward to our lives. We want to just be better people, like not better than anyone, but just better than I was today. Want to be good for the people around me.
I love it, man. I love it. So changing gears a little bit, you got combat jujitsu here in a couple weeks, and like kind of what's the competition plans moving forward?
Yeah, so we were talking about combat jiu-jitsu. It's still something we were thinking about. There's a couple things that we're scheduling out for this couple months. 2023 is almost over, but 2024 is just around the corner. So I'm just trying to see what the best route is, because one thing I've noticed is you have to feel not only your body, but how do I say? I love fighting. It's all I want to do, but it's not all I do. You know. So everything goes around that. Figuring things out, figuring all the details outside of the fight, so that when the fight comes around, we just focus on that. So we're in the works on that, and right now I'm just kind of like focused on what just happened after Worlds, and learning from the tape, watching tape, and just trying to see what's the best move, to be honest.
I can appreciate that. So, I guess before I get you out of here, I want to ask you a little bit about like jujitsu technique. We can just talk about a little bit about technique. Something when I watch your style, man, you're obviously like one of the best back takers in the world. It's no secret that you want to get to your opponent's back almost every match, and you can still do it even when they know that's what you're trying to do. So I guess my question is like, if you were coaching somebody, or if I want to go into the gym tonight and start taking more backs today, what should I focus on to get to the back more often?
Get behind them. It's really like, I don't know. I don't really overthink it on that sense. I just like, I think I gotta get behind them. If I can get like, if I see a shoulder, if I see a rib, and it's just like I have enough visual of it, oh, I got it. Just don't lose it. Just stay on it. I have to give credit to Lucas Lepri for that. Lucas Lepri, when I was training with Lucas back in the day, he helped me out a lot on that. He would tell me like I always like been able to get to the back well, but he would tell me like you have to hold the back like once you get to the point, and then I'm thinking like, yeah, if I see the back, got it. I lose it. So I practice. I can help out with both look to find the back and train during practice, find the back. Also give your practice so that you know the reactions that are happening. You know, I've always done that since I was younger. Like I like to teach the attack and the defense for the team. It's just I, it some people might think it could be counterproductive, but I think it just makes sense. It's like see both.
Um, all right. So speaking about taking the back, I do want to talk about the Roosevelt Sousa finals match that you just had. It was a freaking wild 2.5 minutes. He had your back, and then like 10 seconds later, you had his. Tell me what was going through your head for when he got your back, and then when he slid off on that armbar. What were you thinking?
Man, I was just thinking, what the fuck? Get off me. I wasn't ready for him to be on the back like that. I was it was very smooth, to be honest. Like I was about to pass, and the next thing I know, I feel these dudes like right over my shoulder. Like what the and then as soon as I felt the hooks go in, I started just like taking the feet off. He jumped for the arm bar, and that's something I've been working a lot on, just defense from every submission. Just like just get off me, like uh so I started escaping the armbar, and I knew that kind of like movement when somebody goes for a finish, it takes a lot of strength and adrenaline to like want to finish it with like power. So that's where the technique comes in. Like technique, you're not using the power. I saw a video earlier this week or 2 weeks ago that was this Japanese Brazilian lady talking about jujitsu, and the word of jujitsu is not jujitsu, is like called jutsu in Japan, and that jiu-jitsu, I think, is or jiu-jitsu. I'm not sure which one. I might be mixing them, but it's supposed to be the art of lightness, like the light art, you know. So that's what I feel. What's that exactly what I felt in the fight? Like I feel light, you know. I feel light. I have to keep moving light because one out of the arm, I just kept moving light, 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 and there's a very obvious size difference between me and Roosevelt. So um, that what helped me, like, I was able to get a stack pass on him somewhat, and then not stack pass, but like I was able to stack his hips and get behind. Um, if it wasn't for the movement, I don't know if I would have done that because that wasn't strength. That was a mix of I'm strong enough to move my body, and I'm able to just move. Period. If I was just using strength, I passed out. So, um, yeah, that was a crazy fight. I'm happy I got out of the bed.
It was definitely one of the wildest matches I've seen in a minute. All right, man, that was all I had for you. Again, thank you so much. Is there anything else you want to add before I get you out of here?
Just thanks for your time, everybody. I appreciate your support. If you're keeping it natural, keep it natural. If you're not, give it a shot. You're gonna feel good. And everybody that wants to show more love and support, check out Natural Clothing. We got some gear coming in. And yeah, until next time.
You heard him. Thanks again, Roberto. Have a good one.